animals. I had 150 animals on a farm one time, and I finally had a baby, and then the animals weren't so important, but I think I was overly broody.
Yeah, it's easy to do it. We have 3 cats, and we have to constantly stop ourselves from picking up every stray we see.
I know, I know.
Okay, so here we are, Frank. We're going. You were telling us W writing is T-O
Torture.
torture.
Yeah. You want me to talk about that? Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Well, writing is real creative, but it's really hard work. And it really is torture because you get obsessed with it and you don't want to stop. And sometimes I'll write all night long and then until I just get exhausted. Or I'll get so excited that I'm upstreaming, like when I was writing this. I was writing about my experience when I became a whistleblower at the nuclear weapons laboratory. And they just completely come down on you and they take your life apart. And they terrify you. They kidnapped my daughter. I didn't see her for 5 years. And so you just die. Every day you die. Because what is worse than taking children away from the mother?
How?
How?
Did that happen?
Well, the University of California and the Nuclear Weapons Lab and the police and a whole apparatus that they have, they all operate to do that. They've done this to thousands of people over the years, the decades of the nuclear weapons program. And an experience like that, it either kills you or it makes you into a really good human being. There's nothing in between. And so writing this chapter about that dark time in my life, it was a 12-year period, I had to relive it, and by reliving it, you go through the pain, but you let go of it too. And that was really liberating to write that.
L.
Yeah.
E. Let. Us. S. Start. With.
Okay.
Y.
Y.
U.
B.
E. Became. A. Whistleblower.
Okay.
Became a scientist. Why you became a scientist? I want to G go W-A way back.
Oh, go way back. Oh, okay. Well, my father was a military officer, and I went to 10 schools in 12 years.
I am a Air Force brat.
I'm a Marine brat. Yeah. So it's very, very lonely because every year it's a new school. It's all new people. And
I or no school for me.
Yeah.
There were some places where the schools weren't equipped to take Frank, so he'd be stuck at home with his mother for that period.
Well, you were lucky, but but I had to go to school anyway. And when I came home, I wanted to go out in the woods and be in nature because I felt safe there. And I felt completely safe. And so when I got out of high school, I was too afraid to get married. And I didn't know how to get a job.
Why were you too afraid to get married?
I just didn't think I would like it.
Why? Why not?
Well, because I didn't want another person like my father bossing me around.
We S-E, we see. A
Alike.
P-A, a pattern.
A pattern, yeah.
D-E, developing.
Yeah, right. So when I got out of high school, I didn't know how to get a job, and I didn't want to get married, so I went to college.
S. So, sounds familiar.
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
Yeah.
So I started taking geology classes because I could be outdoors in nature. And this is the funniest story of all. I went to the geology class, and we were going on a field trip. And this is in the 60s. And I had a beehive hairdo and long pink fingernails, and I had high heels on, and I had a little black skirt on that was so tight I could hardly walk. And I had to get into a pickup truck. The whole class was boys. And the boys had to lift me up by my elbows into the truck to go on my first geology field trip.
Did you W-E wear that when you P-L-A played in the woods?
One time. And after that, I threw it away. I got hiking boots and blue jeans and a loose T-shirt, and I let my hair down, and I went out with a rock hammer after that. And I had so much fun. And so after I graduated, I didn't know how to get a job, but I decided I could get a job being outdoors and get paid for it. So finally I found a job working for the chairman of the department. And
is this in Berkeley?
In Davis, UC Davis. And in 1968, I was the first woman to graduate from the geology department. And at the end of the year, when we were graduating, the chairman of the department, Dr. Axelrod, rented a bus, and he took the whole department and all their girlfriends and boyfriends and husbands and wives up to the Sierra Nevada mountains camping for 4 days.
Wow.
And he was sitting in the front seat, and I was behind him, and I love to tease people. So I leaned over the top of his head, and I blew his hair around, just this little duck down on the top of his head. And I was teasing him, and he offered me a job.
I always do that.
Yeah, right. So, for 16 years, I worked with him in the summers on field trips all over the world. And we went to Russia and to Georgia and to Turkey and London and Mexico and Canada together. It was so exciting. And Japan and China. And in 1980, we went to Tibet together to the first Geological Congress on Tibet. And Deng Xiaoping invited 69 scientists from 32 countries. And I felt so humble, and I couldn't believe that Dr. Axelrod asked me to come on the trip. And it was just very magical. We met Deng Xiaoping and toured the Great Hall of the People. And it was wonderful until we got to Tibet, and I saw how the Chinese had killed and tortured the Tibetan people and bulldozed their temples. And then I felt really badly about what had happened. And experiences like this, where you see tragedies in people and populations, and aggression between countries, and what sadness and disaster it brings. And it's how you begin to grow and become an adult, and to understand that better choices need to be made.
Were you political
Never.
before?
No, not ever. No, I'm a Quaker, and it just didn't seem fair.
Well, Quakers are political in the biggest sense.
Absolutely. But I didn't know what political was, and I didn't even know how to be a Quaker. I just knew I was a Quaker because my family have been for 200 years. So I work in science, and I see how the need to control resources and an economy like ours that is really not sustainable. We have to steal the resources of other countries, $1 billion a day, to maintain our economy. And it creates tremendous unhappiness in other countries.
Not to mention in this country.
Yeah, that's right. And it's very funny because foreigners, I'll start talking to foreigners here, and they'll say, you know, Americans have so much, but they're not really happy. And what Quakers say, and they believe, is that you should live with less so that others can live. And I practice that in my life. I'm very thrifty. I shop in thrift stores. In Berkeley, you can shop on the streets where people leave furniture and clothing, and everything you need is on the sidewalk.
We were just saying, everybody who puts out a chair in this neighborhood, it ends up in our house.
Yeah,
we literally have 2 rooms full of recliners. Yeah. People
Yes.
think they need a lot
Yes.
of money
Yes.
to do what they feel they want to do or need
Yes.
to do.
Yes. But what I discovered in my journey, because I'm 60 this year, and I'm a rooster, and in the Asian calendar zodiac, in your 60th year, you come into the full realization of your animal character. And what I learned is when you let go and you're doing work that you really love and you're at peace with yourself, that the universe just comes to you and people find you.
Yes.
And it's a magical thing.
Always.
Always. Yeah.
F. U. Funny. No. M. A. No matter.
Yes.
What? The. G. U. E. What? No matter what the guest is interested in or specializes in or whatever, we
Yes.
always end up having this conversation.
Oh, good. Well, I feel good. It's the incredible lightness of being. Yes. And two people helped me very much in Berkeley. And one is my boyfriend, Robert Rose, who is a paraplegic. He's in a wheelchair. And he said to me, you have to be an activist. You have to do this. And he would put me in the car and drive me to Nevada to testify in the legislature. Or he would put me in the car and he would drive me to the Western Shoshone Spring Gathering, where the Native Americans come together once a year. And he put me on a plane and made me go to Japan and go on a tour, a speaking tour about radiation there. And he gave me a lot of self-confidence, and he gave me a lot of support. And I began to grow and to get self-confidence and to do things I never knew that I could do. And he began to realize that he'd been afraid that he couldn't take care of himself, much less another person. And he began to learn that he could take care of himself and me too. And he watched me cooking in the kitchen. His mother is Mexican and his father is American. And I taught him what it means to be Mexican. I made him proud of his culture and his heritage. And he moved back this year to his parents' house. And every time his mother comes home, he has the entire kitchen full of a giant Mexican meal. And his parents come in and sit down and have a wonderful dinner with him. And his mother said, I didn't know you could cook.
Every one should have a CR crip in their lives.
And then,
We are HAND handy.
Handy, yes. Well, basically, we're on Indian time, and Indian time means the past is over and the future isn't here. So we just live in the moment because that's all that's really real. So let's throw away our watches.
That is why this show is 2.5 hours. Or 2 hours.
2
but
hours.
With the cable show is 2.5 hours, so we often go over 2 hours on the show.
Good.
It B E B R E A, it breaks the FR, the frame.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So, why did you, G, go to W, work at the lab?
Well, after I graduated from Davis and I worked for Dr. Axelrod for a year, I saved $1,000. And in 1969, the night the astronauts took off for the moon, I got on a plane and took off for Europe. And I came back 10 years later.
Did you know you were going to stay?
Oh no, I thought I was going for 3 weeks.
Wow. Where were you in Europe?
Well, I landed in Germany and everybody was speaking German and I couldn't understand it. And it was really hot.
Oh. And wonder why. Everybody was speaking German.
Right. And the women didn't shave their legs. And so I didn't like Germany.
Why? Why not?
Well, because I thought women should shave their legs. So I was a very proper young woman. So I got on a train and I went to England, to Cambridge. And my roommate had married an Englishman. And so he gave me a laundry list of his friends. And so I lived in Cambridge for 2 years. And I worked for Dr. Leakey.
Do they
Shave
their legs?
No, but I don't either now.
She doesn't either now.
No, I decided not to shave my legs anymore.
M. I did not B R bring it up.
Yes, I did.
But I F follow.
So I hitchhiked around Europe and I stayed in youth hostels, and they have wonderful youth hostels all over Europe. And they're in castles, in Peel towers, and fishing cottages, and wonderful, wonderful places. And I met lots of students.
What do you need? H. Hot. Oh, we could open those windows more.
It's too warm.
Yeah. You met wonderful students.
And one night at midnight, I was walking down a road in Sweden. I didn't know where I was. I was looking for a youth hostel. And it was absolutely freezing. And I didn't have a map. And I could hear the farmers' dogs barking. And it was just a beautiful frosty night, and the moon was up, and the trees were along the road. And I said, well, I don't care if I don't find the youth hostel. I can just walk all night because it feels wonderful. And I said, not a single person in the world even knows what continent I'm on. And I thought that was really neat.
U R A T R I tribal person.
Yes, 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 yes. So I just I had all these adventures with the tribe because there are all these people in the world out there, and when you just let go, I call it free falling through life, and you let things happen, and each day there would be 10 choices of adventures to have. And I thought I was doing something wrong, and I kept waiting for something bad to happen. And each day was better. And so I didn't go back for 10 years. It was just an adventure.
There is a HID hidden NE network.
Ah, yes, that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
That is why
That's right.
I am H here
Right.
now.
Yes. Yes.
There were points where, Frank hitchhiked across the country, and there was a period where he stayed at a crash pad for almost a year with no money and nobody to get him up in the morning and feed him and put him on the toilet. But there was always somebody there to take care of what he needed.
It just happened. Yeah, it just happened. So you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And then the second person who really helped me to be what I am now is Donna Spring, the city council member from District 4. And she has so much courage, and she's done so many really good things for the citizens of Berkeley. And she really does take her oath as a city council member and a responsibility to her constituents very seriously. And because I'd grown up in the military, I had never had an experience, a civic experience, living in a town and a community. And I was terrified to go to my first city council meeting and to publicly speak. But we were working on the radiation pollution at the Lawrence Berkeley Lab, and the women and people in the community, citizens working on the issue, the Committee to Minimize Toxic Waste, they said, you have to come to the city council and make testimony. And I went, okay. And so I went in, and they shoved me up there in front of the microphone, and so I started to get used to it. And it's all new. It's a process, though. And in April, I went to Canada, and I learned that a resolution to prohibit the weaponization of space in the space above Berkeley was passed in 2002. Donna introduced my resolution to the City Council. They passed it unanimously. And guess what happened with that resolution? It went like wildfire all over Canada. The Canadian citizens knew that Prime Minister Paul Martin had secretly agreed with President Bush to adopt national missile defense in Canada, and the citizens were completely opposed to it. So they used the Berkeley resolution and collected thousands and thousands of signatures. And in February, they walked into the Canadian Parliament with stacks of papers, and they shocked Paul Martin and forced him into reversing his agreement. And within a month, his minority government was embroiled in a scandal because he hadn't delivered to the U.S. So they had to replace him with a more conservative government that would do what President Bush wanted. And this last week, they voted on a confidence vote in the parliament whether to allow Paul Martin to continue to head the government or call for a new election. And the parliament voted 157 to 157. And the speaker had to vote to break the tie, and he voted for Paul Martin's government. And that has never happened in Canadian history. And the Berkeley resolution
Wow.
again proved that Berkeley is the only city in the United States with its own foreign policy.
B, back to how, why you went to work at the lab.
Yes. Okay. Well, when I came back from my travels, I didn't know how to get a job. I'd put it off for 10 years, but then I had to get a job. So I went to the geology department, and I went to my old boss, and there was a note on the bulletin board in the geology department. They needed someone to work up at the Lawrence Berkeley Lab, studying volcanoes. And Dr. Ian Carmichael was looking for a technician, but of course he only liked men. He'd never had a female student, and he'd been married about 5 times, so he probably didn't like women very much. And I really didn't care. So I made an appointment for an interview with him. And I arrived at his office and the door was locked. So I went down to the mineralogy woman who managed the Mineralogy Museum. And I said, "Peggy, get your keys out. We're going down this hall and open every door until we find Ian Carmichael, because I have an interview with him." And we went down the doorways, opening every door, and at about the 12th door, we opened it, and there was Ian Carmichael sitting, looking at me. And I said, "Dr. Carmichael, we had an interview appointment half an hour ago, and you're in the wrong room." And the smoke came out of his ears, and he had to interview me because there was a witness. And he couldn't think of any reason for saying no. He said, "Well, you're not a geologist." And I said, "Yes, I am." And he said, "Well, you're not in this university." And I said, "Yes, I am." And he said, later, he said, "Well, I couldn't say that you're not a man because that would have been very discriminatory." So he said, "Report for work on Monday." And so I worked up at the Lawrence Berkeley Lab for 6 months. He said, "This is your test period." And at the end of 6 months, he brought his little girl up one evening. I was in the laboratory. He said, "Well, the honeymoon is over." He said, "You're hired now." And so we worked together for 5 years. And it was really fun.
Is on volcanoes?
Yes, we were studying volcanoes. And when that job ended, I went off to live on a farm in the country, and I had a baby. And I left her father when she was 2, and I went to an old boss at the Lawrence Berkeley Lab because I needed a job, and he hired me to do research and development in Livermore. And 2 years after that, I got a job at the Livermore Lab because I had a little girl, and you can start with 6 weeks of paid vacation, and you can take it the day you start. And they don't even care if you don't come to work.
6 how many weeks?
6 weeks of vacation.
Oh, man.
And you can leave anytime you want to go and teach in your child's classroom or go on field trips. They just want you on the payroll at Livermore so they get the money from Washington.
Wow.
And so I worked there for 2 years, but it's a very strange culture. It's really a culture of death, a nuclear weapons laboratory. And 8 of my friends got cancer in 5 years in the town. So one day I packed everything in my car and I drove out the gate. And I said, ha, 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 I'm out of jail. And what I found out is working at a nuclear weapons lab is like joining the mafia. You never get out. So I had a very dark and a difficult time because of the harassment and retaliation. It's happened to thousands of people. And in 2000, I was invited to Japan to speak at the Hiroshima and Nagasaki atomic and hydrogen bomb conference. And that changed my life because I saw the horrific effects of nuclear weapons. And it was so disturbing to me that even before I left Japan, I decided to spend the rest of my life working on radiation issues. And that's exactly what I've done.
When was that? You said 2000?
Yes. Well, I worked at Livermore from 1989 to 1991. And after I left, they make sure you can't get a job. So I finally went back to graduate school at Davis. I had to drive every day from Livermore to Davis and take care of my daughter in school in Livermore. I'm sorry, in Davis. Yeah, Livermore. And it was a flexible schedule, so I began to do my PhD research on atmospheric dust. And dust is the most interesting thing. You can't believe how interesting it is. I fell in love with atmospheric dust.
I can. You can.
You can, okay.
I like to dig.
Oh.
Frank would go through periods where that's what he would do every day for months and months and months. We'd set him up, and he would just chip because he's a slow digger.
Yeah.
Just chip, 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 and
Isn't
watch
it wonderful?
the dirt fall.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
And people would get upset when they would say, "Well, why are you digging?"
Yeah.
Well, I just like to dig.
Because I like to dig.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really fun. It's really fun. So I fell in love with dust and atmospheric dust, and I changed my advisor the second year, and he was unhappy about that. So he retaliated against me, and I had to leave Davis before I finished my dissertation. And so that is the time when I was invited to Japan, not long after that. And I came back, and I found a retired Manhattan Project scientist who had worked at the laboratory. And I found, his name is Marion Falk. And going to see him is like sitting under a tree for the day with Plato. Really. And instead of looking at books and memorizing numbers, he talks about the philosophy of science. and he explains how it all fits together and how it works. He explained the politics of science. And, oh, it was so much fun to play with him. It was so much fun. And he understood very quickly that I was really serious. He'd really always wanted students. He tried to work with activists and teach them about radiation, but they were more interested in the politics. And I think he was intrigued, also pleased, pleasantly surprised to be doing science with a woman who liked science. And so I began to get him books.
Who
Mm-hmm.
who could PLA, who could play with
Yes,
science.
that's right. That's right. And I would tease him, and he would laugh, and it was a very difficult time for him because his wife Annabelle had had a number of strokes, and she really couldn't get out of a chair or walk after a while, and so it was a lot of intense, a very intense period for him caring for her and watching his partner die. And I think that I would come and visit, and we'd talk about science, and it would re-energize him. And she liked it too, because we would talk and visit, and it was nice for everyone. And she died a year ago in January. And I said, Marion, the first year is going to be very difficult, but don't worry, because I'm going to keep you very busy. And the other scientist I met who helped me is Dr. Ernest Sternglass, and he testified in Congress for President Kennedy in 1963, and he convinced the Senate to sign the Partial Test Ban Treaty. So Dr. Sternglass lost his wife 1 week before Marion Folk lost his wife, and I told Dr. Sternglass the same thing. I'm going to keep you very busy. And so I had them going to conferences and writing papers and doing research, and I was bringing books and reports to them and calling them every week and consoling them and talking about, I know, Dr. Sternglass, you don't like to cook your own dinner, and it's a drag to wash your own clothes, and he'd never done his taxes before. And I said, well, you have to finish your writing your book on the origin of the universe, because your wife is sitting there, up there, and she's watching you, and she's watching over you, and you made a promise to her to finish that book. And so we've all had a wonderful time in the last year, although it's a very sad time. But our lives all went on together and had meaning. And I know their wives are with them and watching over them.
Yes.
Yes. Right. Right.
To
Yes.
you don't MAT match the PI pictures of the woman.
A woman.
No, WO R world TO top E expert on
Depleted uranium.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I have a good answer. I used to tell people that I was a geologist, and scientists would say to me at conferences, well, you don't look like a geologist, or you don't look like a scientist. And I would say, well, what does a scientist look like? And they couldn't answer me. And I was interviewing astronaut Ellen Ochoa. And I told her that, and she started laughing. And she said, oh, men tell me that all the time. You don't look like an astronaut. So it doesn't really matter what you look like. It matters that you love what you're doing.
I meant your spirit.
Spirit.
Don't match.
Oh.
Don't match the picture that one would get from that.
Yeah. But, well, science is a priesthood, and there's a hierarchy, and only 5% of scientists are women. So it's actually a very difficult field for women to be in. And real scientists are like me. They have fun with science, and they love to talk about it, and it's like children playing, really. That's what real scientists are like.
When Ignacio was a guest on here.
Chapella.
Yeah.
I love Ignacio.
There was a similar kind of thing, the nature of the conversation.
He's a friend of mine, and he's a wonderful, happy, pure-spirited, very ethical person. He's fun. He's fun, and he's kind, and he's generous, and he listens, and he shares.
Red.
Yeah.
He just won his battle with the university.
Yes, he did, because he had 3 aces. Most people have, they have no cards at all when they're playing with the university. But Ignacio had 3 aces. He is Hispanic. He's Mexican. He was denied tenure on very bogus reasons, which were illegal. Very easy to prove that they were illegal. And he was denied tenure for a very political reason. And that is reflective of the science fraud and the corruption and the involvement with corporations that the university is now involved in.
And he is a PER performance artist.
Yes. And he was he had unanimous support from his department, or nearly unanimous, for tenure. So the university really had no legal legs to stand on in a court action, and rather than go to court and lose the case and have Ignacio set a legal precedent in the courts, they caved in. It was just damage control. It's not because they really wanted to give him tenure.
Right.
And what people don't know is that 500 women have filed lawsuits against the University of California. I've interviewed 150 women scientists to find out why they've had such a difficult time in academia. And the women in the University of California who filed lawsuits filed it for 3 reasons: denial of tenure, whistleblower retaliation, because women are generally more honest than men are, and the 3rd reason was theft of intellectual property. In other words, these women would be doing research and they would get ripped off. Their name wouldn't be even on the research paper, and that happened to me at Livermore. So what happened is the university has 70 or 100 lawyers on staff to fight all these lawsuits, but they were paying outside law firms, in addition, millions and millions and millions of dollars to fight these lawsuits. And these women got together.
Why is the STUD student FEE why the student fees are going up?
Because
the millions of dollars
yes.
they're paying on attorneys.
Yes, and this is very good to talk about because I know a lot about it, and people around here should know a lot about it too, because it's our money and it's our university and it's our public land, and these are land grant colleges. The tuition should be free or very small.
Yes.
When I went to Davis in the 60s, the only reason I was able to get a college education is because the tuition was $65 a year at Davis in the 60s.
That me too, right?
Yeah. Right. And now my daughter is 20. She's at UC Davis, and the tuition is over $6,000 a year. So what is happening is that the cost of education is being passed on to the citizens. And these increasing fees push the lower income students out of the community colleges. And so more and more, the University of California is becoming a very elitist school for rich kids. And because our education standards in the United States are going down, 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 it's now getting very difficult to attract foreign graduate students to the United States. They're staying in their own countries. Korea and Japan are pouring a lot of money into research and development and into science grants. And those countries are on the rise, and we are spiraling downward. As well, Asians have taken over science in the United States because they're willing to work really hard. They have family and cultural support, and the American kids just can't compete with them.
LP, we should do a COU couple of shows.
Yes.
There's a lot to talk about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There is a lot to talk about. There's a lot of very important things to talk about.
How does D U S dust M O move A around
the world, around the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna fix this while you're talking. Go ahead.
This is very, very interesting. Depleted uranium is the radioactive trash from the nuclear weapons and the nuclear power project. And this is the nuclear weapons fallout, which contaminated the entire United States. And every person living in the United States between 1957 and 1963 was internally contaminated by radiation. That has had a tremendous impact. This is the accumulated fallout from 1,200 above ground and underground atmospheric tests. And we have an epidemic of cancer, diabetes, chronic fatigue syndrome, children with cognitive problems and mental problems. And the United States has the highest rate of mental illness in the world. A recent World Health Organization survey determined that 26.4% of the United States population has some form of mental illness. And this is the long-term effects of the radiation nightmare that Americans were exposed to. And of course, the baby, the unborn baby, the fetus, when it's exposed to radiation, it suffers the greatest harm. The nuclear power project, this is the nuclear power plants and the nuclear weapons factories, Hanford, Idaho, and Los Alamos. And this is Centers for Disease Control data that we downloaded from their website, and we plotted it on a map. And 2/3 of all breast cancer deaths between 1985 and 1989 occurred in these black counties. Now, this is where most of the nuclear power plants are on the East Coast because the greatest population density is there. These are nuclear power plants. These are nuclear weapons labs. And this is the San Francisco Bay Area, which has tremendous radioactive pollution from the Rancho Seco nuclear power plant. The emissions were rained and snowed out into the Sierras. That's where our drinking water comes from. It's polluted with radiation. Also, the atmospheric testing fallout at the Nevada test site has contaminated the Sierra Nevada mountains. And then when the Chernobyl radioactive emissions went over the Sierras, that radiation was rained out and snowed out into the Sierras also. So all of this is coming down in the waters that irrigate the crops, and it is polluting our San Francisco Bay, and it's in our drinking water. So these low levels of radiation are devastating. But what is even worse now, this is a local devastation, what is even worse now is that the trash from the nuclear weapons and the nuclear power programs, nearly 1 million tons of depleted uranium stored at DOE sites, has been, thousands of tons have been given to weapons manufacturers to make dirty bombs, dirty missiles, and dirty bullets out of. And starting in 1991, the United States began using these radioactive weapons, and we've actually staged 4 nuclear wars, twice in Iraq, once in Afghanistan, and once in Yugoslavia. And this vaporizes into a radioactive gas. It's a radioactive gas weapon. Gets into the atmosphere, and it travels around and around the world as atmospheric dust. And this is the March issue of Discover magazine, and this is the dust traveling from the Gobi Desert in China, over Japan, and it's heading straight for the United States and North America. And this dust carries bacteria and viruses, pollution, mercury, radioactive isotopes, pollen, all kinds of things. And when it comes down in our environment, where it comes down, we're exposed to biological and chemical and radioactive agents, which impact the health of our environment and, of course, our health too, the health of all living things. This is dust coming out of the Sahara Desert in North Africa, and it's going north all over Europe. And we know now that the radiation from these nuclear wars, the depleted uranium, is increasing, causing increases in infant mortality in 20 regions of Europe, in Britain, and the New York Times reports that infant mortality is increasing in the United States also. It's actually globally increasing, and it's from the radioactive pollution from the depleted uranium, which is mixed completely globally in the atmosphere in 1 year. It's a giant wind machine up there.
B, E, because, the, E, A, R, the earth
Yes.
is one big What? B.
Recycling machine.
B,
Yeah.
O, body.
Yes.
The earth is one body.
That's right. And it's all connected and it's dynamic. It's all moving and twisting and turning and blowing everywhere. And this is an advertisement in the same magazine, Discover Magazine, for depleted uranium golf clubs.
And
And this
they
is
and in F E F R F E R T infertility.
yes.
Oh, infertile.
Yes.
Infertile. I. In Z. E. R. Fertilizer. Oh, and they
That's
also have it
right.
in fertilizer.
That's right. And what they're doing is they are dumping uranium tailings from the mining of uranium. They're dumping it into phosphate fertilizer. And do you know what we have now? We have an epidemic of soccer players, football players, and golfers with Lou Gehrig's, Hodgkin's, and Parkinson's disease, just like the Gulf War soldiers. They are inhaling the uranium in the fertilizer.
We, T, O, told them to R, E, C, recycle,
Yes.
but this isn't what we had in mind.
This isn't what we had in mind. Well, let me tell you about dental porcelain. They make dental porcelain powders out of phosphate deposits, and they add uranium to the dental porcelain powders to make the teeth whiter. And the dental detritus, these dental porcelain pieces break off, and they're causing cancer in the mucosa of the mouth, the lining of the mouth, and they go into the gut, and they pass through the intestine into the tissues, And they're causing cancer internally. Those tiny pieces are found in the center of cancer.
B, E, because they can not get are rid of
That's
N
right.
nuclear waste.
That's right. That's right.
So why not?
So why not?
M
Right.
A make
Yes.
A P profit.
That's right. You're absolutely right. That's absolutely right. And all that radiation is being passed on to the private sector. It's being recycled into our bodies, into our babies, into our children, and it's creating a horrendous health problem in the United States.
Did you see the Yes Men, the movie about the Yes Men?
No, but I know the Yes Men. They're all over the place.
They did A B I big they BIT a big BIT a bit about R E C recycling S H I shit
Yeah.
in they had put up a website that
Yes.
got confused as being the real website for the WTO, and they started getting invited to make presentations, people thinking they were the WTO. It's mainly two guys.
Yeah.
And so one of the things they did a presentation was they did a whole presentation about recycling shit because our body absorbs such a small amount of the nutrients.
That's right.
And so they had these graphics, 3D graphics of somebody pooping and it going through this pipeline and coming out as a patty in third world countries. McDonald's. It was all McDonald's burgers. I was thinking that is what they are doing with depleted uranium.
That's right. There are actually 3 reasons why they're using it. It's it's an excellent kinetic energy penetrator. It will penetrate almost anything. So it's a good weapon for destroying things. There are 2 purposes for the military. They have 2 jobs: to kill people and destroy things, and they don't care about what happens after that. So it's wonderful at destroying things, but it's also a very effective biological weapon. It's a bioweapon. And the purpose of using weapons is not just to destroy the enemy soldiers or the enemy military. It's also to cause long, lingering illnesses in the civilian population. And you can cause the economic productivity to decline, and that undermines a country's economy. Plus, a lot of the energy is taken up taking care of all these ill people and ill children.
And they don't care about Oh, you, our soldiers.
No, after Vietnam, Henry Kissinger made a comment that is quoted in Woodward and Bernstein's book, The Final Days. It's in chapter 14, and Kissinger said, "Military men are just dumb, stupid animals to be used as pawns in foreign policy." And when I talk to young people and high school people or young college people who are thinking of joining the military, I talk about the radiation and the depleted uranium weapons and the birth defects and the illness, but I always finish with that quote. And it's to make it clear to those young people that it's not about patriotism. It's not about saving democracy or exporting democracy. It's simply that simple. That all young people, our soldiers, are throwaway soldiers. It's just that simple. And after they hear that, they really don't want to go into the military.
Not, Jay, not just soldiers, but all of us.
All of us. And something that I'm doing with others now, which I think is very, very important, and General Smedley Butler gave me this idea. General Smedley Butler was a general, a Marine general in World War I. And he finally, in the end, he realized that war is a racket. And he wrote this little book, and I also read this when I go on my speaking tours. And what he said is, war is a racket. It always has been. It is possibly the oldest, easily the most profitable, surely the most vicious. It is the only one international in scope. It is the only one in which the profits are reckoned in dollars and the losses in lives. So I'm working now with Canadians, educating them, and also in the United States, informing citizens and workers that billions of dollars of their money invested in pension funds is invested in weapons manufacturers and depleted uranium weapons manufacturers. So in April, I went to Vancouver and did a radio program with a wonderful, two wonderful Canadian lawyers, Alfred Weber, who wrote my Berkeley resolution, and Gail Davidson, who co-founded Lawyers Against War. And she filed 2 lawsuits, one in Canada against President Bush, which means that on his visit to Canada, he refused to make any public appearances, and he would not go to the Canadian Parliament even. And she filed her lawsuit because she said, he's a war criminal and he's not allowed in our Parliament. Our Parliament should not be receiving war criminals. So at the end of his tour, he flew all the way out to Newfoundland or Nova Scotia, and he made one little photo op appearance with a bunch of fishermen, and he left Canada. And she filed another lawsuit against Rumsfeld in Germany with an American group of lawyers, and that prevented Rumsfeld from going to Europe with President Bush and Condoleezza Rice in February.
One.
Yes.
P-E-R-S, one person,
Yes.
does have
A lot.
effects.
Yes, that's right. One person has a lot of power. And she was simply using the existing laws and norms to question whether he should, it was proper for him to be there, and it wasn't. And so we now have, because of our radio interview, we talked about the need for Canadians to divest their pension funds from our weapons manufacturers. And some Canadians in Vancouver had already been investigating the extent of investments, and it turned out $4.6 billion in British Columbia is invested in 251 U.S. weapons manufacturers. And do you know what happened? That radio interview was in April, and the labor unions immediately put divestment on the election platform for May, and that has been a part of their election this month.
Wow.
And I reminded them that apartheid,
You are A, D, dangerous, B, I, T, bitch.
well, I don't think I am. I'm just trying to help people be smart.
They think so.
Well, they do look scared when I come in the room.
I have that effect too.
Yeah. But really what I am is just mother telling those naughty boys they can't do that.
S, A, same thing.
Yeah.
To them, same thing to them. That's the same thing to them.
Yeah.
A dangerous bitch and mother telling.
Yes. You're right. But see, I never knew I could do any of this. And I was just fearful, and I didn't think I had any power, and I didn't think anyone would listen to me, and
everyone
feels that way.
Everyone feels that way, and everyone can do what you're
Something.
doing.
They can do something.
Yeah. B, E, because, no. That is C. That is B. E. C. Because.
Yeah.
That is because. Don't want to say it that way. That is why the P O power P people R S so scared so scared that we will figure out that what we do have the power.
Yes, that is what they're afraid of, that we're catching on too fast. That's right. That's what they're really afraid of. That's what they're really afraid of. That's right. And it's a very small group doing this. Just a few hundred people. And there are billions of us. So why are we letting them do that to us? They're destroying our ability to reproduce. They're destroying our ability to reproduce healthy children. They are destroying our health. They're destroying our economics. They're looting our pension funds. And we're letting them do this.
And in 1, 0, 10 years
Yes.
after they G go through go T got after
Got.
they got
Everything.
all
Yeah.
the P R O profit
The profit. Mm-hmm.
O out of
Yes.
O oil
Yes.
they will P U push
Yes.
nuclear
That's right.
B I big time
That's right. That's right.
B E because N U nuclear is C E N T R centralized
Uh-huh.
you need C E N centralized M 2 M A make P R profit
Yes, yes, yes. That's exactly right. And what we need to do is to have a citizen movement so that every municipality owns their own water company and their own energy company. Sacramento and I believe one other or two other cities in California own their own energy company. And so they didn't get gouged in the energy crisis like other cities in California did. I mean, I went to the PUC hearings and there were hundreds of people lined up every day. And they said, I'm on a fixed income or I have a small business or whatever. I'm retired. And they said, when I get up every morning, I have to choose between turning the lights on or eating. It was terrible. It was terrible.
but they are F L O A floating a new they are floating a B A BAL O balloon
Ah, yeah,
to
yeah.
M A make it illegal. Are you talking about the GM? No, make it illegal for C cities to
Oh, to have their own energy companies? Yeah. And to own their own water, too.
and
Yeah.
I N T E R internet. Oh, and to have and banning them having their own internet system. There is
Yeah.
that city
Right. Yeah, they want it centralized.
in Oregon. Yeah.
Yeah, they want it centralized so that they can have control.
Yes.
Centralized gives them control, and the faster communication happens, the more they can centralize it.
One, it is very easy to Decentralize.
Decentralized. Very easy. That's right. And it's also very, very easy to and cheap to convert nuclear power plants to natural gas, because we've helped communities do that, and it's very, very easy to do. It's very easy to do. So they don't need to dismantle the nuclear power plants. They just need to remove the reactor core and make some modifications. They can still use the generators and the steam and everything. Very easy to do.
But no B-I big profit.
Well, if you look at the full cycle cost of nuclear power, it's the most expensive energy. And the permanent problem, which no one can get around, is there's nowhere to put the waste. It's still on the site where it's generated, and it's so dangerous now because they have so much packed into the cooling ponds that that's even more dangerous than terrorists, the risk of terrorists. If the water drains out of the ponds, we'll have a criticality accident very rapidly. And like in countries like Japan, they have a magnitude 8 or greater earthquake every 5 years. Every 5 years. So I wrote an article for the Japan Times, Japan's Deadly Game of Nuclear Roulette. And they published it.
Wow.
They actually published it.
Wow.
So
What do the TRIB tribal people say
about nuclear power,
yes?
they say, don't take our uranium. Our uranium brings us lightning, and the lightning brings us rain. You're stealing our lightning. You're stealing our rain. The rain won't come if you take the uranium.
Wow.
That's what they say.
Wow.
Thomas Banyakya, the speaker for the Hopi elders, those are his words.
B-E, because you are W, working with them.
Yes, I am. I'm working with the Indigenous people. Yes, I am. Yeah. I love them. I love them. Oh, when you go to be with them and to circle dance with them and to be around the prayer circle in the morning. And my boyfriend went in a wheelchair and they put him in the center of the prayer circle to honor him. And they know he's Mexican, they know he's Indigenous too, and they treat him like their family. They kiss him and they greet him and they speak softly to him, and they're completely accepting. It's so beautiful. It made him feel really good to be honored like that.
Yeah. I-W-E went to a peyote.
A powwow?
A
powwow?
peyote.
Peyote.
In Taos.
In Taos.
In they dug a hole in the ground so Frank could sit with everybody. And they put him in the hole.
That's what they do. They're so unconditional. They're so accepting. They're so respectful. And we're not used to that in our society. Yeah, it was wonderful, wasn't it? I bet you still feel good when you think about it.
That was where I first got
Extended.
time. That's when you first had that experience and got the power of extended time.
Yeah. It's a different reality. Yeah. It's a wonderful experience. Yeah.
How are we doing? It's 9:30, so we still have time. Yeah.
About an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Did you like the drumming? What is the drumming like for you? Did it make you feel good?
At the Peyote.
Yeah.
thing.
Yes, the Indigenous people always have drumming.
I do our ritual. Frank does ritual performances. That's what he's been doing for the last 30 plus years. So we use, and the extended time thing and the sound, we do something called body music, where people sit together naked and play each other's bodies. And
how wonderful.
you, nude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we use that kind of thing all the time.
It's really wonderful.
Yeah. H-E-L Helms. Frank was investigated twice by Jesse Helms in 1990. He had the General Accounting Office invest him twice as an obscene artist. And they couldn't come up with anything.
That's
tried.
so sad.
Yeah.
That's really sad.
The C.I. City Council tried to pass a law so that Frank's cable programs, what they wanted to do is since they couldn't tell him they couldn't have them on, they wanted to make a window from 2 a.m. till 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. where Frank's show and the other shows that he sponsored would play.
I remember that. I remember that.
We fought that.
My goodness. Yes.
I first first vote. Everybody except Chris Worthington voted to censor. Everybody.
And Chris didn't vote for it.
Well, he voted in support of us.
Yeah,
not to censor. He was the only one.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I see. Cornered Donna. He cornered Donna.
Oh, you cornered Donna.
After that first vote.
Yeah, and he had to talk with her.
Well, all he said was, would you please not vote for the censorship?
Yeah.
And I think she was surprised that he said it so point blank, and she said she'll think about it. And then she voted in support of us the next vote. Yeah.
She just needed to be reminded. Yeah.
And only 2, 3 votes voted against the censorship. Voted the second time around. Only 3 people voted against the censorship.
That's good.
Well, no, they all voted for the censorship except for 3 people.
Oh, they voted against it.
They voted against us.
Yeah.
But Frank just put everything he had into it. He was always in the newspapers.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people writing letters to the editor in support of us.
Yeah.
And we were at a lot of city council meetings.
Yeah. That's what it takes.
And and the And then the ACLU got involved.
Yes, I remember.
They sent a letter to everyone and actually came to a city council meeting and made a presentation, and it just disappeared.
It disappeared.
Never did the next vote.
Yeah.
Just vaporized.
Yeah, they said,
And never mind.
oh, well. What else is on the agenda?
Right. S. So. N. O. Now. I. M. Now our programs are on 7 nights a week.
Yeah.
We have 2 programs that run the usual 3 times a week. One's this one, 2.5 hours, and one's an hour. And then the 2.5 hour program repeats as a best of. And it's like the all night programming where a lot of people watch TV.
Yeah. All night long they do.
So it's like So one, but somewhere around 12:30, 1:30 it starts, and it will run 2.5 hours. It's a different episode every night. So we're really on a lot.
Right.
Yeah. How did you get your DA daughter back?
When she graduated from high school, she came back to me. She wanted me to come to her graduation. And when she graduated from high school, she came to see me. And I said to her, well, her name is Zephyr. And I said, Zephyr, do you have a car for college? And she knew I didn't have any money to buy her one. She said, oh, Mom, I took care of that. Because I was 50 when I bought my first car. And she watched me do it. I got the Blue Book, and I got the Consumer Report on used cars. And I got out the newspapers, and I went and talked to mechanics, and I waited in line in parts stores and talked to all the men. I didn't buy anything. I was just asking them which is the best car. And so she knew how to do it. And so we were walking out the door to go and have lunch together. And she said, yeah, I took care of it. And we walked outside, and there was a red Mustang convertible parked on the curb. I said, how did you do that? She said, well, I got a Blue Book, and I got the Consumer's Report on used cars, and I got the newspapers. And she decided what car she wanted. She wanted a red Mustang convertible. And she started looking in the want ads, and she knew that the Blue Book price was $14,000. And she found one in the newspaper, and it was an Army colonel, and she said, Mom, he was so anal. He changed the oil every 3,000 miles on the zero. It wasn't even 3,005 miles. And she drove it, and he just said, this cute little co-ed wants to buy my wife's car, and he just put a new convertible top on it. So it was just primo. And I had taught her the first one who names the amount loses, because you can't bargain. So you get the other person to name the amount, and then you start bargaining. And she said, I said, well, do you want to buy the car? And she said, well, he said, how much do you want to pay? And she said, well, how much do you want for it? He said, well, how about $7,000? And she said, I'll take it.
Wow.
And I said, but Zephyr, boys go to college with red convertibles to catch girls. Now what are you going to do? And she said, I'll deal with it. And I said, well, how did you buy it? And she said, well, the week before I graduated from high school, I had $35,000 saved to go to college. and my father took it away from me. He said he needed it for living expenses. He's a millionaire. My father did the same thing to me. The night before I went to college, he took all my college money. And a week later...
M-I-K. Mikey's dad did a similar thing to him, too.
The same thing.
Yeah.
That's right. So... she said, the week after I graduated, I was invited to a community scholarship dinner for 3 high schools. And she said, I was sitting there and they were giving $2,000 scholarships and $3,000 scholarships and $5,000 scholarships. She said, I didn't get any of them. And finally, there was one scholarship left, and they called me up on the stage, and they gave her $20,000.
Wow.
So she went off to Davis, and with that scholarship, she got an internship that summer with Genentech, and they have a facility, a production facility in Vacaville. And she said, they told me to come 40 hours a week, and she said, I thought that was really a lot of time for them to make me do volunteering my time, but I did it anyway. And she said at the end of 2 weeks, they came around with paychecks, and they paid the interns the same amount as they paid the employees.
Wow.
So she had the money to pay cash in a month.
Wow.
Or 2 months. And so when my daughter was younger, I saw all these daughters, these girls, living with divorced mothers, and I knew the fathers would punish the mothers one last time when their daughters went off to college, and I knew the fathers would not pay for their college. So I taught all these girls how to get scholarships. And it was wonderful because each of them would call me up and tell me different stories. And one of them said, well, I graduated from high school and I went to see my father, who's a well-to-do medical doctor. And she didn't say anything about college or ask him for any money. He couldn't stand it. He finally said to her, well, aren't you going to college? And she said, yes. And he said, well, don't you need some money? And she said, oh, no, I took care of that. I'm going to a $25,000 a year college, and they've given me a full scholarship. And it gives the girls such wonderful esteem, these young ladies, to be able to do that.
How can people, how can we, encourage people who who are WORK working?
Yes.
BE behind the LINE lines, working
Yes.
behind the lines,
Yes.
to blow the whistle.
To blow the whistle. We need to provide support systems for them when they do blow the whistle. That's what we need to do. And it's very difficult to blow the whistle because there's no support once you do. You get isolated and alienated, and there's a tremendous price to pay for whistleblowers. And sometimes it's a price they pay the rest of their lives.
Are there are there support groups?
Well, there are women's organizations. I know of them in the science world. For instance, the Society of Women Engineers, the American Association of University Women. They collected millions of dollars to have a legal defense fund for women academics who needed to file lawsuits in academia because it's about the most hostile working environment for women. So they started filing lawsuits against the University of California, and I believe they may even be helping Ignacio Chapela. And once those lawsuits keep slamming down on the University of California, they have to finally pay attention to that.
Do, but in general, no, in F, G, O, government. What about in government?
There are some very good advocate organizations. The Government Accountability Project is one of them. They, of course, help government workers, especially at the nuclear weapons facilities. Because of the secrecy, they can get away with much more egregious violations of people's rights. They've been very effective. And, you know, you think of Wen Ho Lee and what that poor man went through. That was dreadful. So there are some organizations, but it's certainly not enough. And postal workers, teachers in lower K-12 education, women in academia, nuclear whistleblowers, it's very, very difficult for them. And we do need to develop more organizations to help them. It's very difficult.
B, E, because that is how we
Find out.
out.
Find out. Yes, and what's happening now after 9/11 is that more and more government whistleblowers are coming out in the FBI, in the CIA, and in many other branches of the government, and it's really having a cumulative effect. And now there's a citizens 9/11 movement, accountability movement, and we are very effectively using community access television to put videos and movies on that we cannot get into mainstream theaters.
Yes. P, U, public access is U, N,
underutilized. It's underutilized.
Yes.
Absolutely. The citizens have the laws. The citizens have the resources, but they haven't been using them effectively. And it has to be a grassroots, diffuse, like a swarming effort. It has to be that kind of a strategy. Because when you get a hierarchy, it's very easy to infiltrate for the government and to undermine it.
Yes.
But when it's a diffuse, kind of a swarming strategy, it's very effective because it's a conviction in the streets.
Right. Like this. This will be on public access
That's
in Berkeley.
Right. This is very important. It's very important.
Is why the I don't use their studio. What is why? No. P-O-S power. No, P-O-S-S I
Possible.
possible.
Yeah.
Possibility.
Yeah,
C.
they can't
control.
Control or censor. That's right. That's right. Yeah. And so you can just think a little bit. You can have your own strategy and not fall into their areas of control.
Yeah.
And then you should never give up control, actually.
So Frank is always he always is saying people give away their power. They
give away
don't
their
have
power. And once you begin to stand up and say no and not give away your power, they can't deal with you.
Yes. I have always wondered. You have always won.
You've always won.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Because you do the unexpected. You don't cave in.
Yeah. Where? When? Was it when? The C city L A lawyers
Yes.
were reading their wrote up their law, their obscenity law.
Yes.
When they were reading it in the city council. Is that it? When you started laughing?
Yes.
Is that it?
Yes.
What happened is somewhere along the way they flipped the wording, and it became similar to the wording that the federal government had tried to use during the Jesse Helm period. And Frank knew that they didn't have a case when they flipped the words to that.
Yeah,
he knew we were covered in. So they were thinking that this was like a heavy blow.
Yeah,
and Frank just starts laughing like, ah! And then it kind of turns around like, we're missing the joke. What is it? So we don't have to worry about anything now.
That's what they hate the most, is when you laugh at them.
Right. Yeah. He's always doing that.
They hate that.
Yeah.
They hate that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yes, we just had a very, very interesting public hearing Thursday night on the Lawrence Berkeley Lab. They're applying every 10 years to relicense for a hazardous waste facility. And they still haven't cleaned up the mess from the nuclear weapons project. And now they want to only clean up 20% and leave 80%. And so the Department of Toxic Substance Control agreed to have a public hearing with a stenographer and a public record, because we demanded it. They didn't want to do it, but they knew we would not sign off on that hazardous waste facility unless they did that.
You are the B-E-R Berkeley E-N
Environmental Commissioner, one of them, yes. Yes. And so I went to that meeting, and they had this panel of the Water Board and the Department of Toxic Substance Control and a geologist, and they had this panel of scientific power and these citizens in the audience, and half the audience was Lawrence Berkeley Lab scientists. And they looked at me, oh my God, they're so afraid of me. It's so funny. And I always have garlic for the vampire. And these are European Parliament reports. This is the regulatory edition for regulators on low-level radiation standards. And so their scientists presented, and then they allowed us an hour to ask questions that they answered. And they couldn't answer any of the citizens' questions. So finally I said to the head of the DTSC department that was there that night, I said, you are not answering her question, and you're giving gobbledygook answers. And he said, no, I'm not giving gobbledygook answers. I'm explaining. And then he went in circles again. And so I didn't say anything else. And the citizens started yelling at him. And then the DTSC community facilitator started yelling at his boss. And his boss started yelling at and it turned into this big shouting match in DTSC. And so then they shut it down and they said, let's go to the public hearing now, where the citizens could get up and make comments, and it was all recorded, and DTSC is required to respond in writing to every one of the comments. And they said to me, Leuren, you go up first. So I got up and I said, I'd like to address your regulatory standards and your risk models for the chemical and radioactive exposure. And I said, first of all, when I went into your office in 1989, Dr. Calvin Wilhite, he was their toxicologist. Of course, he didn't remember me. I said, I asked you, how did the EPA determine the risk of exposure to different chemicals? Because they have speed limit signs, or they have risk, levels that you can't exceed. And Dr. Wilhite, you told me that the EPA cannot do human testing because it's illegal in the United States. The EPA could not do animal testing because that would cost way too much money. And so you told me that the EPA made up all the standards.
Oh, no.
And I said, now let's go to radiation exposure, and we'll start with the A-bomb studies in Hiroshima and Nagasaki conducted by the U.S. government. They were fraudulently done because they threw out the first 5 years of all of the data when most of the people died. And you only considered external exposure to gamma rays and fast neutrons. And internal exposure, with all of these exposures at Chernobyl, around nuclear power plants, nuclear reprocessing plants, the Lawrence Berkeley Lab, these are all internal exposures. And the A-bomb studies, which are the basis for the International Committee on Radiation Protection Standards, which you are using, they are mutually exclusive models. And so your model doesn't work for our community and our exposures. So those are no good. And on top of that, I want to remind all of you here tonight that anytime you pick up a Department of Energy report, there are no authors on it. It is not peer reviewed. And behind the first page is a statement, a disclaimer that DOE is not responsible for anything in the report. So they were just all sitting there, and I said, so all of the information that your panel has presented tonight is irrelevant. It doesn't mean anything. It's not based on any factual science or rigorous studies. And so all those PhDs really don't mean anything. The library is the university. And so then another member of the community got up and she put up a geology map that she had gotten that was done in 1949, and she cut the legs off of all their geology reporting. And they were really happy to go home that night.
A. D. A. Dangerous. Bitch.
No, I'm a concerned mother. I'm a concerned mother, and I'm even concerned for those scientists because I said you're being exposed to exactly what we're being exposed to.
What is SMM? A. Smart. D. U. Dust.
Oh, what is smart dust? Ooh.
I did my homework.
You sure did. You sure did. You're a smart dude. Smart Dust is a DARPA-funded project on the Berkeley campus. I believe it was like a couple of $1 million. And
what is DARPA, or who is
DARPA is the Defense Agency Research Project Agency. And so they fund a lot of military projects. And the universities are receiving large amounts of funding now from the Department of Defense for military applications. I do not think this is proper. I think it's a conflict of interest. I don't think it's proper. And so UC Berkeley got this money to develop these 1 cubic millimeter size, basically computers, that they can scatter in the air. They scattered them in the botanical garden and in different parts of the campus and in buildings, and they wanted to put them on the Bay Bridge, and they have transmitters in them, and they transmit back information about anything in the environment. In other words, they're spying dust. And
is P A R A paranoia? P O S possible?
Well,
today.
Well, basically, they have the technology to know everything and monitor everyone in every way for 24 hours a day. But my attitude about that is, why would they want to? And don't they have anything better to do? And secondly, even in medieval palaces, there were spies in every room. So the world turns on information. But I think we should just be aware of that. But I think we should get the RFID tags, the radio frequency ID tags, out of the books in the library. And a very, very dishonest, underhanded, dirty deal is happening right now in Berkeley.
Tell
in
us,
the library.
What is that? We saw some of that on BTV.
That's
public
right.
access.
You saw the hearing, didn't you?
Yeah.
The Board of Libraries.
Yeah.
I was pretty noisy. But I didn't get to draw a card, and I haven't had an opportunity to speak. I never get my card drawn. And so I just wanted to...
wonder why.
I wonder why, yeah, exactly. So what has happened is, in Berkeley, we have one of the most famous library schools in the world. And there are many, many, many retired or out of work, unemployed librarians in the city of Berkeley or in the Bay Area who should have been chosen, who would have made excellent library directors. Instead, somehow, and I believe it was planned, I believe it was a hidden agenda, a woman with very little experience from Eugene, Oregon, was hired as the new director of the library. And I don't believe there's a building in the city of Berkeley that is more heavily used than the Berkeley Public Library. It's a beautiful library. We have a very educated, many self-educated citizenship in Berkeley, and they're entitled to have access to information in the public domain. And they had wonderful teen librarian programs in the branches. There was very, very good esteem in the library workers. They love their jobs. The citizens love the librarians. It really worked very well. And since Jackie Griffin has arrived,
How long ago was that?
I believe about 3.5 years, she came with a hidden agenda. She was overheard saying, well, get that library RFID plan in and get out of town. In other words, she was saying she came to hit and run. And she came from Eugene, where they had installed the RFID and had nothing but problems. It's not efficient. It's actually, you can't even use it without the barcode system. The barcode system worked just fine. And it's in addition to the barcode system. So what is the real purpose? The real purpose is for all of this information to go into existing, extensive U.S. government databases, and these are used at airports. They now have mind reading technology at airports. You call in to make an appointment, and they start crunching you through all these huge government databases. You go to the airport, they're crunching you more, and they're measuring your electroencephalograms and electrocardiogram. This is from a document that was FOIA'd by the Electronic Frontier Foundation from NASA, and it was a meeting between NASA and Northwest Airlines in 2001, and they'd been having these meetings to install mind-reading technology in airports, and Northwest Airlines was the first airline to participate in this. So these are very dark and very sinister things. I spoke with a man today who went to court. There was some dispute about a parking ticket or a speeding ticket or something, or his license as a contractor. And his lawyer showed him a printout on him that the judge had and would use to determine his guilt or innocence and the sentencing or the punishment. And it had all of this personal data on him going back years. These are the kinds of databases being compiled on American citizens now without their knowledge, without their consent, and many of these are DARPA projects. Admiral Poindexter was directly involved in establishing these databases, and he's a 4 times convicted felon. So now the criminals are turning the innocent people into the criminals and turning themselves into innocent people. It's a little schizophrenic. And when your government starts turning lies into truth and truth into lies, it's a really bad sign.
This show is why they wanted, why they don't like public access.
Exactly. And the more upset they get, the more it is a negative compliment.
It it never is because of the erotic. That's what Frank has always said. When we get censorship, it's never about the erotic.
It's never about that.
Right.
It's never about that.
That's what they use, but that's not what it's about.
That's not what it's about.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
How am you? How much have not we covered tonight?
Oh, well, this is just a teaser.
You are a tease. You are a tease.
Yes, but I only tease people I really like.
I am FLA. Flattered.
Oh, this has been a really fun, very fun time. Thank you very much.
S. Would you see come on again?
Anytime that you ask me.
But don't pull a Ignacio?
No.
Because he booked for the second time and didn't show up.
Oh, no. No. No, I'll be here.
All right.
He was probably meeting with the chancellor.
No.
No.
No. Is that it? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, Leuren Moret.
Leuren Moret.
Yes.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
What is your website? Do you have a website?
Oh, I don't have a website. I don't have time to do a website.
We have something from Paul Gottlieb
Yes.
that we listed.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
we could just list that.
If you just do
Google.
if you just Google my first name, Leuren, Leuren,
Yes.
there's lots of information.
Even could like no your HO your home. Frank found your home address. And he was very
did?
concerned about that
Oh,
by doing a Google search.
Oh, I don't live there anymore.
Okay,
I
good.
moved and I made sure my home address didn't get on the internet again.
Oh, good.
But when I sign official documents or I've written letters to members of Congress, then my home address. Now I have a
Right.
P.O. box, so
Yeah.
it's different now.
Yeah. 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 Frank was very concerned
Yes.
about that one.
I took care of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Okay. So there'll be a link under the Shaman's Den archives on lover.com to read more about Leuren. Okay. Bye-bye.
So, that was so much fun to do. Thank you. It was wonderful. Yeah, anytime that you want me to come and do an interview, I will. Even if it's